Oh, hi, Vivi. Hi, Raven. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Yes, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I was actually thinking about messaging you directly and going, hey, I'm finally reading for the first time in a while. I guess I don't need to anymore. Good to see you. You're all doing. Thank you for the bits, Raven. Thank you, thank you. I pay attention to you sometimes. Sometimes. I mean, to be fair, if it was all the time, I would be very worried. Okay, I think that's all I need to do on the tech end. I would run out of attentions. They're already tending to trot off on their own. Have you tried giving them GPS collars? Not the color I'd want. Well, these are for your attentions, not for yourself. Let's see. What am I? Oh, to give. That's fair, that's fair. Yeah, GPS collars aren't exactly my sort of thing either. I'm fond of little collars like this, or chokers, or... I ain't letting nobody collar me. Let's see. What do I need to do? Right. You like lacy collars on me? Glad you do. Let's see. Gonna do an ad break real quick so that we can get the pre-rolls off and then can get going from there. Wait, have you seen this model? I don't remember whether you were here last time at the very end when I was showing this off. Have you had any more chance to explore the GOG library? I have not. I've barely had any desktop time as it is. Holly, hello, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for the headbats. I need to get a headpat emote at some point. Headpat emote? Not emote. I have a headpat emote. I just don't have the slots for it. You were asking Ravens? You gave them access? Oh. Ooh. We're not going to see Raven for like 3 years after this. It's going to be absolutely lost in the sea of games. Let's see. Oh, it's been so long since I've read. There's my library. And hi. Thank you for the sub. 8 months. 8 months. Oh dear. It's been 8 months already. And yes, I do not know what I did to earn that privilege. Do not think being a good barb is enough. Sometimes it is. Excited for readings? Glad you are, so am I. Of course have had a little more energy today. But also, when I sat down at the computer and I was getting getting OBS updated, getting a couple of last parameters set up. I think. Oh, where's my Tuesday? My little gems down there on my skirt don't absolutely swing about like there's a typhoon anymore. Everything else sort of bounces as usual, but ooh, combat arara? Don't know when I'd use that, but who knows? Maybe I'll need it. Why? Interesting. Oh, very interesting. There we go. Wait, you have little wings? Cute? I do. Ballas. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Let's see. Don't overwork yourself. I'll try not to. Today is special. I mean, it's... I was getting restless from not streaming for 2 weeks, but today is actually a day where I am feeling very, very energetic. And I did give myself a proper break between the kitchen stuff and eating and stream. So I'm being mostly responsible. Tea. Oh, it's been a while since I've had a tea on stream. Skyrim Day was 2 days ago, I forgot. Oh, Poke Day, isn't it? I missed it. I missed it. Thank you for the 20 bits, Raven. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, miss? Do you need pets? Do you want to be up here? Has a nice cushion for you. Her little stool that I have, Skyrim has a day. Most likely it's in reference to Skyrim's release date, which is November 11th. I believe also the last day of World War I. Armistice Day. 11th of November, 1918, at 11 a.m. Don't mind me, I'm just being a World War I geek. Remember 11th remembered? Remember November 11th remembered. Remembered or remember? I'd like to do a cover for the Morrowind theme, but I have not worked on a template. The 5th of November. Oh, why the 5th of November? So let me make sure that my my Fetty post has the correct link. Yes, good. Is the proper link. Tamagotchi time? Alright. Tabby, can we get the bannered mare on the soundtrack, please? In just a minute. Is the title The Bannered Mare? Or is it one of the other tavern songs? Tavern pieces? Let's hear your voice always. Sally. Oh. It's nice to be able to be here. Even when I'm only in bed, it's, I only really get to properly talk to somebody every 4 or 5 days, and then I have to pick, like, okay, who do I talk to, right? Who do I give time to? Bannered Mare is the title of the song. Okay. It'll pop up. Well, I'll put it on as the next piece once this one ends. Whoever it is that gets picked better feel very lucky, or I'll sleep paralysis demon them. Maybe I am the sleep paralysis demon. I'll show up, just, sit on you, and then read the 1994 Toyota Corolla manual at you. Vivi, is it the 1994 Toyota Corolla manual? Or was it a different one? Corolla manual. 2004. Oh. Okay. I'd much rather have you as my sleep paralysis demon. Oh. At least that's a sitting job. Although the teleportation, if I'm going to have to get somebody else to do the teleportation for me. It's really, I do not have the energy for that. Now let's see. Shall we read some of the older books? Since we just haven't read any of them in a long while. Oh, I've almost entirely forgotten the workflow. This isn't too bad for the stream. I was reading about the creation of Darkstalkers. Darkstalkers? Gonna have to switch colors so Holly and I aren't turning this whole chat into Pepto-Bismol. It's alright. Yours is a much more purple. Holly's is much more pink. Or at least on my screen. Maybe I'm just lucky. Or maybe you already changed. Oh, you changed from pink to purple, W. I was too late. I was too slow. Maybe, read, Darkstalkers. Oh, the game. US Capcom staffers brought up the idea of a fighting game with monsters, was describing character ideas. Morgan was originally... Oh, Darkstalkers is where Morgan is from. Morgan is absolute goals. For anybody who doesn't know, the like succubus character, like quintessential succubus character, that's Morgan from Darkstalkers. Japanese team didn't know what that was. Oh, interesting. So originally slated to be a vampire, but the US staffer suggested making her a succubus. And the Japanese team didn't know what that was? Really? Oh, it's a kind of demon? Huh, it's a special type of demon that screws people. And the team was immediately on board. It's fair. Let's see now. How do things go on the screen? I'm kind of surprised that the Japanese staffers didn't know. I would think that sort of like the concept would be fairly prolific, and the sort of people making games at that time, I would think would have that sort of knowledge. I get to listen to you read lore while I'm sick. It's fortuitous timing. Right, you had the visit and then got sick afterwards. Gah. Hopefully you feel better quickly. That's no fun. Also, munch, yep, little chocolate peanut butter cups. Got I think Halloween leftovers, most likely, in bulk. One sleep away from being okay, I feel. That's good to hear. And don't dive straight into 12 hours of streaming a day every day, okay? Okay. No. You can actually see me chew now. This feels so weird. I adored the last model, but this one feels good. This one feels really good. I don't have a braided hairstyle. I do. This hairstyle does have braids, but it's not quite my style. Oh, I need to remember to do one thing. I need to turn off all of the point redeems for the last model. Yes, miss? You know, you can come up here for pets. Oh, they're all off. Posture, one stretch, sip. Oh, no. Okay. Very beautiful model. Glad you think so, too. It feels very me. And also, but also it's, the mouth is very, very, responsive, shall we say. You... There. Yeah, I can go ooh or e. I can also go think there we go. I can still do that expression, but I've tuned things just a little bit, so I'm not just going every 3 seconds. It's having that particular issue until earlier today when I finally figured out how to tweak the parameters just right. Fang Gang? I mean, I've had fangs for basically the whole time. The other one was much more kitty fangs. This one is, well, you get to decide. Still need to make sapphic use of mine? Or make sapphic use of Oh, don't we all? Okay. Let's see. Oh, Vivi, before I forget, I was taking a look at your giggle emote. And at the super small size that it shows up in lines of text on Discord, it like all blurs together. I was wondering if more distinct dark lines might make it pop a little more. Are bites allowed? I don't know what I would bite. Which emote? I missed it. The giggle emote. Agatha Giggle. I don't know about the other ones. I haven't stared at them too much, but it's just something I noticed earlier, and I wanted to make sure that I told you before I forget. I was thinking of just texting you the idea, but since we're all here. Oh, what's a nice short story? Because I know some of these are a little long. I was looking at, what's its face? No, not the Doors of Oblivion. The Great War or the Dragon Break? No, not the Dragon Break Reexamined. That's fairly short. The Oblivion Crisis. I think it's fairly long. I'm wrapped up warm in bed, but I left the window open. The airflow keeps making my curtains inflate, and it's so annoying. Oi. Oh no, LibreOffice is updating. Please don't update LibreOffice, or at least ask me before updating. Oh, updates are the bane of any streamer's existence. Especially iPhones. I think Limes has a whole short and rant. No, just part of it. But like sort of a horror story, right? Of that she has experience of iOS updates screwing everything up with her tracking. And so she has a spare old iPhone that doesn't have the updates, has Wi-Fi turned off, right? Just like, oh. Cheers to that. So yeah, that is a real problem. I actually skipped like 3 updates for OBS just because every time that update pop-up comes up, I'm just like, too bad I can't turn the restream.io messages off. Wonder if I can ban restream.io from my chat. Oh, I can't even ban it from chat. It's in the back end. Well, we're sitting here waiting for LibreOffice to update. Shall I scooch myself just a wee bit further over this way? Used to have an OBS, a version of OBS that was 2 years out of date before my computer got borked. There we go. That's more of the usual spot, isn't it? There we go. Oh, that's what it's picking up. Living Krys in a nutshell. Emperor was killed by cults. You must help people to stop cults. Cult took special amulet while Hero saved city. Hero helps son of dead Emperor to take on Demon Realm. Big boss of Demon enters the game. Child of Emperor becomes an aspect of a god and defeats big boss of Demon. Basically? I can do that. Ooh. I banned the restream messages from chat. That's basically what happens, yeah? So now I don't need to play Oblivion. No, everyone needs to play Oblivion. I had to nutshell or my Tism would been on our rant. Oh, which rant would you like to go on? There's so many rants that you could go on. This way? This would... Yeah, maybe. Okay. Let's do this, and... scooch it right here. Alright. There we go. Lore! The Lortism. The Lortism that where you go to sleep to videos of like hour-long lore videos. It's nice to hear the smile in your voice. Oh, thank you. It really does feel nice to be here with all of you. It's I don't know if I finished this train of thought earlier, but I was when I got to the computer and I was doing some of the preliminary stuff and doing some tweaks on the model, especially the eyes, right? Not going like this every time I tilted my head down, or every time I raised my eyebrows. Because I tend to have fairly good eyebrow mobility. See? It's like fairly real life accurate. But like I couldn't stop smiling. I just found myself to just it's so fun, you know. Not just fun, but it feels good. It feels worthwhile. So yeah. No, I do know. Lortism caused by Tylorinol. Can I get that in bulk? I need a bit more. We missed the library lady. Oh, thank you, Raven. Hi, Red Sparrow. Hello, hello. Good to see you streaming again. It's good to be back streaming again. Boing. You know what? Let me... Hey, Holly, do you remember where the emote drop spin settings were? As specific as that is. Emote dropper. There we go. Drop chance, drop speed, gravity opacity, bounciness, emote size, rotation. There we go. 0.7. Feels weird trying to type numbers because my my numpad does, you know, stuff like this, right? So if I type numbers into something else, it gets kind of weird. It's like 143, and it's just like, I don't know about that one. Maybe we'll, that is, 0.7. Maybe we'll do a little bit more, 0.85? I think I found 1.0 to be a wee bit much on the spin. Like the emotes would, hit something and just, you know, do a good CD impression. Woi! Hey, yeah. Good, that feels good. It was under the first the general settings, and then all the way down to the Twitch connection stuff. Okay. I spam wiggle emotes. Wiggle. Oh, I still need to figure out, I think I asked Amada a few weeks ago what she uses for her emotes, sorry, her chat on screen. Because her like actual moving emotes actually move, whereas mine don't on screen. So yeah, that's a thing. You're watching? You have a lot of eyes. Is that biblically accurate, Holly? Oh, LibreOffice finally updated. Huzzah. Oh, hi, LibreOffice. Hi, Bokudoku. Welcome. It's good to see you. It's been a long while. Let's see. Oh, whistle song that I know, Down, Down, Down by the River. Oh, let's see. Oh, it's not going through very well. Let's see. Filters. Noise suppression. There we go. You know what? And then it goes, or at least that's what my brain says. But there's a like I know there's a portion that goes. You know, back to that, but I don't remember how to get to. It's been too long. It's been way too long. But shall we read finally? Let me throw in. Oh, that's tags. Let's see. Throw that in there. Move that. And then, what tags did I use? There we go. All right. Proper category change. Wrapped up all cozy and warm? Glad you are. Boku, I don't have headpad emotes right now, I think. Oh. Let's see. Living Crisis. That's not too bad. 1,000 words? Probably 10 minutes, I think. Oh. Let me change the position on my legs. Oh, and let me throw this back up there. There we go. Is that about all right for the volume? Between the, for the balance between music and voice? There we go. Alright. So this is The Oblivion Crisis, written by Praxis Sarcorum. At the turning of the Fourth Age, in the year Third Era 433, the Emperor Uriel Septim VII was assassinated, and the Amulet of Kings was destroyed. This set in motion a chain of events that would bring down an empire and change forever the relationship between man and the gods. The assassins first attacked the Emperor in the White Gold Tower. While the Blades held them back, the Emperor made his way down to the dungeons to a secret escape route built into one of the prison cells. For a reason known only to himself, the Emperor pardoned the fortunate prisoner in that cell. Some say the prisoner reminded him of a childhood friend. Others say it was a moment of prophecy. Whatever the case, the prisoner came to play a fateful role in the history of the Empire and Tamriel. Surely a sign that the gods themselves were at work. The pursuing assassins killed the Blade's bodyguards in a relentless series of sneak attacks. Eventually, they struck down the Emperor himself. Before he fell, Uriel Septim VII gave the Amulet of Kings to the prisoner, who somehow made it out of the Imperial sewers into the light of day. The assassination is now known to have been the work of a group of Daedric cultists known as the Mythic Dawn. Those who suspect the Dark Brotherhood should consider two facts. First, they would have only needed a single assassin, not a small army of them. Second, that the Dark Brotherhood would never be so foolish as to effectively declare war on the Empire and thus ensure their complete destruction. Witness to the eventual fate of the Mythic Dawn. The Amulet of Kings next surfaced at the Wayne Priory near Coral. Before I go on any further, this does have spoilers for the main storyline of Oblivion. Just in case, yeah, just in case anybody isn't spoiled yet and is waiting and saving their first time for Skyblivion, perhaps. The Amulet of Kings next surfaced at the Wayne Priory near Coral. Joffre, secret Grandmaster of the Blades and head of the Priory, took possession of the amulet. The messenger was set off to Kvatch to find a lowly priest named Martin Septim. Unbeknownst even to himself, Martin was the bastard son of Uriel Septim VII and the last heir to the Ruby Throne. He alone could use the Amulet of Kings to light the dragon fires that wards the barrier between Tamriel and Oblivion and save the world from the Mythic Dawn plot. The prisoner arrived at Kvatch to find it overrun by Daedra that had poured in from a newly opened Oblivion Gate, the start of the empire-spanning devastation of the Oblivion Crisis. How the prisoner closed the gate is not recorded. Once closed, Martin and the surviving Kvatch guardsmen drove back the Daedra. Now known as the hero of Kvatch, the prisoner and Martin returned to Wayne Priory, only to find the Priory sacked and the amulet taken. Joffre survived the attack, however, and the three of them made their way to Cloud Ruler Temple, bastion of the Blades. The secret fortress in the mountains outside Bruma is where Martin was held safe while the hero of Kvatch searched for the lost amulet. Knowing only that a mysterious group called the Mythic Dawn was behind the assassination and the theft of the amulet, the hero of Kvatch was sent to locate the cult. With the help of Baurus, a blade in service of the Emperor, they somehow used the commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes, esoteric works by the madman Mankar Cameron, to direct them to the Mythic Dawn's secret lair. Scholars familiar with the commentaries claim the location is not directly mentioned in them. How they did this remains a mystery. No official records exist of how the hero of Kvatch penetrated the Mythic Dawn's lair near Lake Arius. There is a bardic tale that claims the hero used trickery and disguise, but that is just speculation. What was discovered there is that Mankar Cameron was behind the Mythic Dawn, and that the group worshipped the Daedric prince Mehrunes Dagon. Mankar Cameron himself. Mankar Cameron believed himself to be a direct descendant of the Cameron usurper, the infamous pretender to the throne of Valenwood. If you need to go make food, be back. Okay. See you in a little bit. Somehow, the hero escaped from the Mysterium Xarxes itself, the holy book. Escaped with the Mysterium Xerxes itself, the holy book of the mythic dawn. Mankar Cameron fled to oblivion with the Amulet of Kings. With some effort and great risk to his sanity, Martin deciphered the Mysterium Xerxes and intended to use it to open a gateway to Mankar Cameron in order to recover the Amulet of Kings. Before Martin could do the ritual to open the gateway, LemonStxDesign opened an Oblivion Gate outside Bruma. The hero of Kvatch saved the city and Martin by entering the gate and closing it before Daedric's siege engine could destroy Bruma and the Cloud Ruler Temple. Many songs and stories have been told of this battle, and I will not retell them here. The hero of Kvatch was now known as the savior of Bruma. With the city and Cloud Ruler Temple safe, Martin opened the portal to Mankar Cameron's paradise. The details of what transpired in this place have not been recorded. All that is known is that the savior of Bruma traveled to this paradise, killed Mankar Cameron, and returned with the Amulet of Kings. With the amulet in hand, Martin Septim presented himself to the Elder Council to be crowned Emperor of all Tamriel. Once crowned, he planned to relight the dragon fires and seal Tamriel from oblivion. In a last-ditch attempt to stop him, LemonStxDesign launched an assault on the Imperial City, opening several oblivion gates within the capital itself. Uncrowned, Martin joined the battle in the streets. LemonStxDesign himself left oblivion and entered Tamriel, breaking the covenant. Only the unlit dragon fires allowed this to be possible. Now that the barrier was ripped asunder, it was too late to relight the fires. Martin Septim chose to make the ultimate sacrifice. He shattered the Amulet of Kings to become the avatar of the god Akatosh and do battle with LemonStxDesign. Records of this battle vary wildly. What we do know is that LemonStxDesign was defeated and sent back into oblivion. The avatar of Akatosh was turned to stone and can be seen to this day in the Temple of the One in the Imperial City. With the amulet gone, the dragon fires quenched, and the last Dragonblood Emperor dead, the barrier to oblivion is sealed forever. Look. Welcome back. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. Let's see, that was the Oblivion Crisis, was it? Feels nice to read. And definitely not strenuous. But definitely takes careful breath management. I guess we gotta read Legend of the Last Dragonborn now, since we did Oblivion Crisis. Legend of the Last Dragonborn. Legend of the Last Dragonborn. Let's see. Legend of the Last Dragonborn. Is it the Book of the Dragonborn? Ah. The Book of the Dragonborn. There it is. So this is, I believe, spoilers from Oblivion in right up to the start of Skyrim. Oh, I can actually use... Uh-huh. There we go. Let's see. And scooch that up just a little bit. The Book of the Dragonborn. Oh, lurkies and fall asleep. All right, Holly. Night-night. Sweet dreams. I hope you rest well. Lovely to hear you. Thank you, thank you. The Book of the Dragonborn by Prior Emmeline Madrina. Emmeline Madrina? Emmeline Madrina. Order of Talos, Wayne Priory. A treatise on the Dragonborn. Year 360 of the Third Era. 21st of the reign of His Majesty Pelagius the Seventh. No, Pelagius the Fourth, I'm sorry. Many people have heard the term Dragonborn. We are, of course, ruled by the Dragonborn emperors. But the true meaning of the term is not commonly understood. For those of us in the Order of Talos, this is a subject near and dear to our hearts. And in this book, I will attempt to illuminate the history and significance of those known as Dragonborn down through the ages. Most scholars agree that the term was first used in connection with the Covenant of Akatosh, when the blessed Saint Alessia was given the Amulet of Kings, and the dragon fires in the Temple of the One were first lit. Quote, Akatosh, looking with pity upon the plight of men, drew precious blood from his own heart and blessed Saint Alessia with this blood of dragon, and made a covenant that, so long as Alessia's generations were true to the dragon blood, Akatosh would endeavor to seal tight the gates of oblivion, and to deny the armies of Daedra and undead to their enemies, the Daedra-loving Aelids. Those blessed by Akatosh with the dragon blood became known more simply as Dragonborn. The connection with the rulers of the Empire was thus there from the beginning. Only those of the dragon blood were able to wear the Amulet of Kings and light the dragon fires. All the legitimate rulers of the Empire have been Dragonborn. The emperors and empresses of the first Cyrodiilic Empire founded by Alessia. Riemann Cyrodiil and his heirs. And, of course, Tiber Septim and his heirs, down to our current Emperor, His Majesty Pelagius Septim IV. Because of this connection with the emperors, however, the other significance of the Dragonborn has been obscured and largely forgotten by all but scholars, and those of us dedicated to the service of the blessed Talos, who was Tiber Septim. Very few realize that being Dragonborn is not a simple matter of heredity. Being the blessing of Akatosh himself, it is beyond our understanding exactly how and why it is bestowed. Those who become Emperor and light the dragon fires are surely Dragonborn. The proof is in the wearing of the amulet and the lighting of the fires. But were they Dragonborn and thus able to do these things? Or was the doing the sign of the blessing of Akatosh descending upon them? All that we can say is that it is both, and neither, a divine mystery. The line of Septims has all been Dragonborn, of course, which is one reason the simplistic notion of it being hereditary has become so commonplace. But we know for certain that the early Cyrodiilic rulers were not all related. There is also no evidence that Riemann Cyrodiil was descended from Alessia, although there are many legends that would make it so, most of them dating from the time of Riemann, and likely attempts to legitimize his rule. We know that the Blades, usually thought of as the Emperor's bodyguards, originated in Akaviri Crusaders, who invaded Tamriel for obscure reasons in the late First Era. They appear to have been searching for a Dragonborn. The events at Pale Pass bear this out, and the Akaviri were the first to proclaim Riemann Cyrodiil as Dragonborn. In fact, it was the Akaviri who did the most to promote his standing as emperor, although Riemann himself never took the title in his lifetime. And, of course, there is no known hereditary connection between Tiber Septim and any of the previous Dragonborn rulers of Tamriel. Whether there can be more than one Dragonborn at a time is another mystery. The emperors have done their best to dismiss this notion, but, of course, the imperial succession itself means that, at the very least, there are two or more potential Dragonborn at any time. The current ruler and their heirs. The history of the blades also hints at this, although little is known of their activities during the interregnum between Riemann's empire and the rise of Tiber Septim. Many believe that the blades continued to search out and guard those they believed were, or might be, dragonborn during this time. Lastly, we come to the question of the true meaning of being dragonborn. The connection with dragons is so obvious that it has almost been forgotten. In these days when dragons are a distant memory, we forget that in the early days, being dragonborn meant having the dragon blood. Some scholars believe that was meant quite literally, although the exact significance is not known. The Nords tell tales of dragonborn heroes who were great dragon slayers, able to steal the power of the dragons they killed. Indeed, it is well known that the Akaviri sought out and killed many dragons during their invasion, and there is some evidence that this continued after they became Riemann Cyrodiil's Dragon Guard. Again, the connection to dragons, the direct predecessors to the blades of today. I leave you with what is known as the prophecy of the Dragonborn. It is often said to originate in an Elder Scroll, although it is sometimes also attributed to the ancient Akaviri. Many have attempted to decipher it, and many have also believed that its omens have been fulfilled, and that the advent of, quote, the last Dragonborn, unquote, was at hand. I make no claims as an interpreter of the prophecy, but it does suggest that the true significance of Akatosh's gift to mortal kind has yet to be fully understood. Here is the prophecy in full. When misrule takes its place at the 8 corners of the world, when the brass tower walks and time is reshaped, when the thrice blessed fail and the red tower trembles, when the dragonborn ruler loses his throne and the white tower falls, when the snow tower lies sundered, kingless, bleeding, the World Eater awakes, and the wheel turns upon the last Dragonborn. And that was the Book of the Dragonborn. Hi, Minari. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. Not seeing your hair like this? This is a new model. Wait, were you here at the end of last stream when I was showing it off? I thought so, but I didn't want to assume. This one can do all sorts of things. I've lost a few, unfortunately. The only braid I have is the braids on this. But let's see. There we go. Dude, Thank you, thank you. Very fond of it. Took a little while to set up, but feels really good. Oh, posture check. Thanks, Raven. Your has been checked and not found wanting. Is it the one currently credited? Yes. The same studio made both my previous model and this model. Ooh. The Rose System. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. And... oh... Alinox, the OG, the OG. Ah, yes, poetry, as common as it may be in my presence for myself, I don't get tired of it, strangely enough. I suppose prophecies are basically poetry, aren't they? I hadn't thought of that. Congrats on the new model. Thank you. Alan, please. Alan? Okay. I'll try to remember that. Give me a few tries, though. It's not an exclusive model, unfortunately. Maybe one day. But I found this one a little closer to me. Including the eyes and, well, the hair, and but also the dress as well. Let's see. There you go. Very much the sort of clothes I would wear in real life. Although I tend not to have quite such an open collarbone. Usually I tend to, I mean, I guess, considering it's thigh highs and mini skirt, that everything from the other skirt up is pretty much covered. Hard ahoge, my beloved. I have two. Wait, you have two hard ahoge? Your mom let you have two? Oh no. Now I have to center myself on the book, or the book has to be centered on me. Okay, I can squish myself down now. The gloves, yes. I can actually do this. Physics blessed. Ollie, my mama did that all on her own. Really? The hard ahoge? Wow. Telepathic. Knows what her customers want. Let's see. There's also one. There it is. Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. There we go. I can wave. But also, wait a minute. I can. Me. Blush. Actually, let me. There we go. It's a little clearer on the face. Thank you for the bits, Raven. Thank you. Let's see. Still need to get the glasses a little tuned, unfortunately. These glasses are... But... let's cry. There's the blush. There's, of course. Did I have anything? Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I can chibi? If I want to, although I've disabled those. I do tend to like this, these proportions a little more. Well, not a little more, quite a bit more. There we go. There we go. Just looking over the model and the bells and whistles. There are some things that I'm not using and don't know if I ever will use. But actually quite a bit of it, honestly. It still feels much more like me compared to the previous model, as much as I adored the previous model. The roses especially were nice. The 99% of people don't use their toggles. That's fair. I think with the hair and let's see, before we had a hair toggle and then we had the kitty ears toggle as well. What else did we have? Oh yeah, I do have this. A big old bow on the back of the dress. Although, little cluttery, so. For now, it's off. Can also Frankenstein them together if you want. What sort of things? Angry Lady Tabby would be scary to behold. The scariest people are the quiet ones that got hanky. I don't mean quiet, reclusive ones, the usually gentle, quiet ones. I mean, if there are certain aspects you want from the other, you can always put them together in a sense. Can I? Because I don't have the original PSD, and I don't have the original rigging files. Otherwise, I would love to have, gone back into the model and tweaked quite a few things. You have them bound to a control layer on your gamepad, so you're constantly using them as much as possible. You can hide parts of models and save them as items. Really? Huh. Wow. I'm definitely going to have to, Oh. Thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you. Minari, the emotes. Try the emotes. And thank you, real girl scare me. Let's see. Oh, we were talking about voice stuff. So, I can go into more detail at some point. But while we're on the topic, I might as well, let's see. So there's voices up here, right? Like fairly bright. No need to derail your stream. No, it's okay. This sort of stuff is part of the stream, and you know, for the trans folks watching, they can get a little voice lesson. Not a very good one, but voice lesson nonetheless. Hi, baby. I return and see I missed some things. What'd you miss? So there's pitch, right? I can maintain this voice and go so the oh, that's a low resonance, and it's a sort of open mouth and throat that is asked for in, say, singing, especially in choral things, right? And the opposite of that is, of course, this higher resonance. No. Once you get up to a certain point, it gets a little iffy. Let me have some tea first. So, if your voices appear, right? The same resonance, but a little lower, right? This is very much the this is the Marge Simpson voice. That's what it feels like, honestly. So but you don't need to have your resonance up that high, right? You probably have your own resonance, your current resonance. You can have the resonance come a little lower. To free yourself up just a little bit. And then, if you're down here, right, has especially femme voices that are down in this pitch range tend to be more soothing for people. And people tend to take it as soothing. And then from here, so we were talking about more of a, an onesama voice, right? And part of this is, like, if you can, the more smoothness you can get on it, the better. Which can be practiced just by going, and just trying to maintain your on the same pitch, the same resonance, the same volume, and you'll feel your voice waver in and out, right? But the goal is to have it nice and stable. Doing this with a straw, especially a longer, smaller straw, makes it really hard. You can actually take a normal size straw and cut it in half to start for that sort of exercise. And then the advanced version is taking the straw, putting it in a glass of water, and then maintaining your voice through that, which is fun. Hi, Luna. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. The other part is not being afraid to dip into these lower pitches, right? My resonance is still high, right? But the pitch can be used, brought fairly low. And then with the smoothness and some of not being afraid to almost be lyrical, right? Not going overboard, but not being afraid to change pitch, especially in long, drawn-out syllables. And then, on top of that, so this is my normal voice. Sorry. This is my normal voice, right? Not too bright. Oh, that's what resonance is called, is bright and dark. So, that's bright. Brada. Oops. No.
That's dark. This is a dark voice. This is what men often sound like when they try to increase only their pitch, but their resonance is dark.
Meanwhile, I think women especially don't, most humans in general don't know how to manipulate their resonance. So they'll, the people that have naturally high voices will sit here with this resonance and go, and talk like this. And the resonance will be super high, maybe even nasally, but maybe trying to push that voice, that pitch as low as they can go. Funny things happen. And of course, if you get high pitch and high, super bright, maybe even nasally, you get that one aunt. Oh, dearie me. And then if you get a dark voice, dark, low pitch, low resonance, then you get this sort of voice. And there's a third layer that I won't go into today. But this is the sort of voice where prepare for impact. Good girl. Right? So you can go low and dark, but with the resonance, bright tends to be read as femme, dark tends to be read as masc. So while you can tweak that, tweaking that too much can make you be read as a completely different, a different gender than you want to be read. But what you can do is you can be down here in a sort of breathy voice. Fairly low pitch, right? But still, fairly bright. And now it's, oh, good girl. So it's those... yeah, all those things put together. You can, experiment with them in practice, and at first you will feel like you've been doing some weightlifting. I still think it's lost on me, is dumb. Oh, that's alright, there's a whole VOD. Literally just take that part and, flip it if we need to. And I really need to learn how to do resonance so I can good girl some people I know and get them really flustered. Mommy voice is a skill for sure. It is. My partner has been trying to make me understand things and I just derp. Okay. So for resonance, pitch is fairly simple, right? That's pitch. Very simple. Right. Pitch, you go find a tuner. You can change your pitch. The way you tell your resonance, but I don't agree with my chat, my mommy voice sounds Delayed? Delayed? Not quite sure what that means. My lady has that power? Your partner's vocal therapist has told them about the straw thing. Ah! It's, my speech therapist for long COVID is actually the one that taught me the normal straw version of that. And then I have a VTuber friend who actually went to school for vocals, and she taught me the straw phonation in a glass of water. But I know they're going in the opposite direction that I am. Not so much the opposite. So sort of in a way, but the breathiness is something... Oh! The other thing is vocal fry. So you get... Aww. What a good girl. So, that's a little bit of vocal fry, and aww, a little bit of vocal fry there as well. Women tend to use vocal fry for sultry voices. I tend to shy away from it. I think every once in a while there's little bits of my voice that do fry a little bit, but for the most part I tend to use pitch manipulation, smoothness, and breathiness. Because this sounds like I'm right in your ear. And doesn't need the fry. Your fry tends to come out when I'm tired or nervous? That's not too surprising. Vocal fry is a tight, like your throat. Go, right, from completely tight and closed off to open, and voicing. So, yeah, it's nervousness. I could easily see that causing more vocal fry than usual. But if you can... There's examples of women with sultry voices out there. A lot of them do use vocal fry. Most of them tend to drop their pitch, right? So... they're normally talking and singing up here, and then suddenly they're down here. It's a little more sultry voice. I would have to listen to the examples of sultry voices again to suss out whether they're manipulating their resonance. But yeah. So resonance. So let's see. So the way we tend to learn it is big dog, small dog. So dogs pant, right? They go. But so that's not voiced. So I don't have a pitch in my voice, right? But you can hear that difference. You can hear me move the internal structures of my throat. And basically that's why it's called resonance, right? Because it's the basically it's just, you know how wind howls when it gets a certain speed, right? That's sort of what's happening. The size and shape of your chamber, your instrument's chamber, is changing and being manipulated in a way that certain resonance, certain frequencies are being masked and certain frequencies are being accentuated. The literal resonating within your lungs and throat. Mostly it's the throat, the mouth, and the nasal cavity. I think the lungs might be a little miffed to have to be involved in that one. It's already got its work cut out for it. So basically with big dog, small dog, big dog, little dog. Anyway, what you do is you can emulate a small dog, right? A little chihuahua that's, up to your, maybe your ankles, maybe your shins at best, right? And it goes... And then you have the Great Danes, right? The ones that basically come up to the bottom of your rib cage, right? That could potentially you could maybe ride it. They go. So those are the extremes. And you can go from you can feel with the big dog, your larynx is much lower. And it creates a larger chamber. And then as you get to small dog, you'll feel your larynx move much higher into your neck and very much into, between your actual, inside your jaw, basically, up into there. And take it slow, right? Experiment. And that's the whole point of practice. See how your body works, see how it feels. And I don't know if you want to play around with resonance, but having maybe a not quite a super high, super bright resonance, like way up here, but maybe down here a little bit. And the pitch doesn't matter too well. No, a slightly lower pitch might also help, but also having a slightly darker resonance might help as well. Again, experiment, see what feels comfortable, and what's comfortable might change too, right? See what sounds good for you, see what sounds good on mic. Also, then play with, phrases, right? For me, it's, oh dear, and things like that. And where you want to start them, and how much you want to vary the pitch. Glad I could make you blush. Oh dear, you blushing? Scary hobo. Joined 10 minutes ago because I wanted to hear some books, getting a vocal lesson instead. Can't say I'm disappointed. I'm glad to hear it. Oh. And, yeah. Those, along with just the nice smoothness a lot of what makes like professional vocalists and voice actors' voices so pleasant to listen to, no matter what voice they're putting on, whether it's their own voice, whether they're singing or not, tends to be that stability and smoothness, right? It's something that we train in violin too. Just warming up, literally just not even whole notes, literally just infinite notes, as long as we can get them from the tip of the bow all the way to the frog and back, just as slow as you can get it. And for added difficulty, you can try to do it as quietly as you can, right? Because maintaining a loud voice, not that difficult, right? But maintaining a super quiet voice with stability in the voicing. So there's that border, right, between unvoiced and voiced. You can probably hear my voice waver as I struggle to maintain that, the day, I think it's air pressure. And so, you're exhaling to create the voice, right? But trying to do it quietly and consistently. Can really help. And that's just whenever you're doing something, whenever you're on break, just a couple times a day, just breath. Honey, so should I focus more on resonance than pitch? A little of both, I think. Although, try pitch first. Pitch tends to actually correspond to resonance until you train that out. It's like when you play piano and your two hands try to do the same thing as each other, or wind instrument players when they go higher pitch, they'll also go louder unless they're properly trained. It's like that. We tend to increase our resonance, get a brighter resonance at higher pitches, darker resonance at lower pitches. Just go with pitch at first. And then once you're comfortable, maybe start teasing it apart a little bit if you want to play with it a little more. Oh, let me do an ad break real quick just to get the pre-rolls off, and then we'll go into another book. Let's see. Put that there. And don't worry if this is all overwhelming, right? Just take it one thing at a time. If you want to just start with the voice stability, the humming, that's okay too. Oh, one last thing I forgot. So since you're working with pitch, just a scale. Is okay, or
Ah.
And up half a step.
Ah.
Or you can go,
Ah.
and then down.
Ah. Ah. Ah.
And maybe one thing for relaxing your voice is, you know how horses go? Basically, you do that, but starting from the highest pitch you can get. And that's just a warm-up, relaxy thingy for your voice. But it can also help for lowering your voice, right? Because lowering your voice often involves relaxing the muscles in your throat so that you can go lower. And this way, it's a nice gradient and you don't have to go down, you know, like notes, right? Just... Anyway, I think that's... yeah. I just made a noise I didn't know I could make. Oh. What sort of noise was it? Oh, Raven. Thank you, thank you. Let's see now, let's see now. Good bird. Hopefully that was good. And I'm not gonna sip. I will sip and I will have another chocolate. And to stretch. Rain. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. You been? Seen your stream. What do you call it? Your stream notices. But mostly not been able to join. Tell her hi for me. And that I hope she has better luck with 3 stars. Valerium E, thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Not sure, not sure. What shall we read? She says she's in 1-star hell. Rip. Rip. Ara. And there's a wonderful little Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Crampton. Welcome, welcome. A dance and fire? I did promise, didn't I? I bring a Dorito to a cutie. Oh. Thank you for the Dorito. Looks like a good Dorito. Very well seasoned. Gotta keep you on your toes? I'd prefer not to be on my toes, really. I think My heart has a hard enough time getting the blood back up to my heart and brain without being on my toes. Let's see, what chapter were we at last time we read A Dance in Fire? There it is. A Dance in Fire chapter 4. So, let's see, page 36. So today we do A Dance in Fire, page 36 through where? How have you been, Crampton? I know I've taken quite the hiatus, especially on the YouTube side of things, I think, as I tend to not stream gaming stuff to the YouTube channel, so the last live stream the YouTube channel got was months ago, multiple. Oh, real girls scare me. Thank you for the follow earlier. Sorry I didn't realize. Crampton, pretty busy, but I've been looking around. Are you feeling better? Better today, definitely. I can't really speak on, in terms of, on the long term. I'm trying. Right, it's bedtime, but I'll have you up for cozy. Oh, thank you. I'll try not to disturb your sleep. By the way, Valerium, do you have any of the cool ranch Doritos? Those tend to be my favorite. Why is it the blue flavor tends to be really good, no matter what it is? Let's see. You don't, sadly? Oh. Blue's the most delicious color? I guess it is. In nature, I would be a little wary of blue things, but also like blueberries and some grapes. That's all I can think of. There's a grape in my hometown in Japan called a kyoho. Basically, they're giant grapes. What is that, like? Not quite a golf ball. 2/3 of a golf ball? Like, pretty chunky. Oh, don't push yourself. How long have you had the makeover? Since the end of last stream. Found that, this, I mean, well, you've seen me in real life, so my clothes, this tends to fit my, like, clothing habits a little more. Although I don't have magical gems and bows clustered all over the place, but the black with the frills. And also I can do all sorts of things with my mouth. As you got... Right. You did get me the eyeshadow colors. Oh, yes, miss. I can't wait for violin streams so I can actually use them. comfy and soft clothes then? Maybe not at the very soft and comfy end. My inners do tend to be soft, but I tend to wear usually a ruffle blouse on top and then some kind of skirt on the bottom, with a sort of a mini corset. Not a full one. It's underbust. It's a little shorter than even a lot of underbust corsets, but that's what I wear for most of my outings where I actually want to look decent. Wait, what kind of things? What was I talking about? I have streamer brain. Yeah, my mouth can go ooh. I can go. See, what else can I do? I can. I mean, the blush and then. And I cry. And what else do I have? And this one. Then, what did I put here? Right, I have the bow back there. And this. Do I still have the hair buns? No, unfortunately. I couldn't carry anything over from the last model, so no kitty ears either. This is the only thing I have. Probably leave it mostly like that, but every once in a while, just I do like the braids and the bows and the gems in the hair. Although, I mean, I would have preferred this and then maybe just a. Do you know the dead mom braid? Do any of you know the dead mom braid? It's the dead mom braid because in anime, mothers who have taken ill tend to use it. And I now know why, being bedridden. It's basically a loose braid that comes down and over your shoulder to your front. So you don't have anything bulky or like round or anything behind your head. It's nice and neat, right? And if it's braided, then it tends to tangle, slower and stay together easier. And you don't lean back on it, right? It's you can lean back without leaning back onto your hair. So it's still nice, not the dead mom braid. I am very fond of the dead mom braid. Kind of fitting now that I spend much of my time in bed. I can attest to its usefulness as a purely functional hairstyle. But also there is something about it. Maybe it just screams mature feminine figure. I don't know. So I keep my hair up in a claw clip most of the time now, but ready to chop it all off? Oh? Going full bald? Or super short? Or are you going to have it like this length? You just get frustrated? Why is that? Yeah, claw clips are nice though. If you don't have to lean your head back onto anything, claw clips are nice. If you do have to lean your head back onto something, claw clips are not the correct tool. It's a lot to dye? That's why. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, you tend to have, like, shoulder length-ish, right? Or just a little, like, collarbone, maybe? Are you going to chop it up towards, like about what this is? Or... Wait, your hair is halfway down your back. Holy cow, it's grown since the last... Has it grown since the last time I saw you? My image of you is always... like... the little side tail that comes down onto, like, your collarbone. Not a full all the way down your... or halfway down your back. That's a long ways. Yeah, padded nerd. Oh, you're thinking of the curls. Yeah, I think so. You did tend to... Yeah, did tend to go into hair tie and then a short portion of curl. Now let's see. I promised Crampton a dance in fire. If I let it ringlet and pull it forward, it hits below my color. If I pull it back and don't let it ringlet, it gets halfway down. Wait, so you can have it go into ringlets if you keep it over your shoulder all the time, versus causing it to be straight if you keep it down your back a bunch of the time? Or can you do either with the same state of hair? Yeah, if I lay on it, the ringlets get squished. That's definitely one way to do it. Usually not fond of lying on my hair, but if it works, it works. Dance in Fire. Page 36. There it is. End of chapter 4. And then into chapter 5. All right. I guess this is your average stream, isn't it? Half reading, half chatting. With the obligatory vocal lesson and talk of hair. Oh. Oh. Yes, miss. You want to come up onto the, Come on. No? You don't want to be patted? Okay. I mean, head pats are nice. You want to just... Okay. You want to walk within reach. That's okay with me, too. Maybe I need to get off my computer. Hope you have a good rest of your night and good rest of the stream. Okay. Thanks, Phoebe. Night. Take care. Miriam, we love vocal lessons. I'm glad you do. I'm glad the knowledge is getting some use. That's there's a lot of vocal, especially for, I mean, the stuff I know is for trans femmes, right? Been a lot of vocal lesson stuff out there, and a lot of it can be hard to parse, hard to really get your mind around. And yeah, hopefully I'm explaining it in ways that are a little easier to understand. Dance in Fire, Chapter 4. There we go. Oh, thank you for the resub, Holly. Thank you, thank you. And enjoy the emotes. The emotes. I wonder, is that? Yep, that's a buff pup emote. That one's adorable. Alright. This is A Dance in Fire, Chapter 5. Soap. A forest will eat love. Straight ahead. Stupid and a stupid cow. A voice boomed out so suddenly that Decimus Scotty jumped. He stared off into the dim jungle glade, from which he only heard animal and insect calls and the low whistling of wind moments before. It was oddly queer. It was a queer, oddly accented voice of indiscriminate gender, tremulous in its modulations, but unmistakably human, or at the very least elven. An isolated Bosmer, perhaps, with a poor grasp of the Cyrodiilic language. After countless hours of plodding through the dense knot of Valenwood jungle, any voice of slight familiarity sounded wondrous. "Hello," he cried. "Beetles on my names. Certainly yesterday, yes." The voice called back, "Who, what, and when, and mice?" I'm afraid I don't understand," replied Scotty, turning toward the brambled tree, thick as a wagon where the voice had issued. "But you needn't be afraid of me. My name is Decimus Scotty. I'm a Cyrodiil from the Imperial City. I came here to help rebuild Valenwood after the war, you see, and now I'm rather lost." "Gemstones and grilled slaves, the war," moaned the voice, and broke down into sobs. "You know about the war? I wasn't sure. I wasn't even sure how far away from the border I am now." Scotty began slowly walking forward toward the tree. He dropped Reglius' satchel to the ground and held out his empty hands. I'm unarmed. I only want to know the way to the closest town. I'm trying to meet my friend, Leodis Jurus, in Sylvanar." "Sylvanar," the voice laughed. It laughed even louder as Scotty circled the tree. "Worms and wine, Sylvanar sings for worms and wine." There was nothing to be found anywhere around the tree. "I don't see you. Where are you hiding?" In frustration born of hunger and exhaustion, he struck the tree trunk. A sudden shiver of gold and red erupted from a hollow nook above, and Scotty was surrounded by 6 winged creatures, scarcely more than a few inches long. Bright crimson eyes were set on either side of a tunnel-like protuberance, the animals' always open mouths. They were legless, and they're thin. Rapidly beating aureate wings seemed poorly constructed to transport their fat, swollen bodies. And yet, they darted through the air like sparks from a fire, whirling about the poor clerk. They began chattering what he now understood to be perfect nonsense. A sudden shiver of golden red erupted from a hollow nook above, and Scotty was surrounded by 6 winged creatures, scarcely more than a few inches long. Oh, the creatures. Hi, Raccoon Puffy Boy. Welcome, welcome. See. Vines and worms, how far from the border am I? Academic garnishments and, alas, Leodus Jurus. Hello, I'm afraid I'm unarmed. Smoke and flames, and the closest town is dear Oblivion. Swollen on bad meat and indigo nimbus, but you needn't be afraid of me. Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding before I begin to friend love me, Lady Zuleika? Furious with the mimics, Scotty swung his arms, driving them up into the treetops. He stomped back to the clearing and opened the satchel again, as he had done some hours ago. There was still, surprisingly, nothing useful in the bag, and nothing to eat in any corner or pocket. Heaven divine God. Hi, welcome, welcome. A goodly amount of gold. He smiled grimly as he had done before, the irony of being financially solvent in the jungle. A stack of neat blank contracts from Lord Vanek's building commission, some thin cord, and an oiled leather cloak for bad weather. At least, Scotty considered, he had not suffered rain. A rolling moan of thunder reminded Scotty of what he had suspected for some weeks now. He was cursed. A sip and a stretch. Well, I had the sip. Let me stretch for just a second. Okay. I see anyone doing reading ASMR. Can I suggest a book for you to read? As long as it's short. I tend to do ones from the Elder Scrolls games, but I have been known to read short books by request on occasion. Reading ASMRs are hard to do because you gotta make sure it's not copywritten and stuff. It can, yeah. And knowing what's copywritten but also won't get you in trouble. And also often, I've read parts, small portions of relatively famous works like Lord of the Rings, but definitely not in their entirety. Can you read Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint? Do you have an author for that? Okay. When we're done with this chapter of A Dance in Fire, I'll take a look at it and see what we can do. A rolling moan of thunder reminded Scotty of what he had suspected for some weeks now. He was cursed. Within an hour's time, he was wearing the cloak and clawing his way through the mud. The trees, which had earlier allowed no sunlight in, provided no shelter against the pounding storm and wind. The only sounds that pierced the pelting of the rain were the mocking calls of the flying creatures, flitting just above, babbling their nonsense. Scotty followed and bellowed at them through rocks, but they seemed enamored of his company. While he was reaching to grab a promising-looking stone to hurl at his tormentors, Scotty felt something shift beneath his feet. Wet but solid ground suddenly liquefied and became a rolling tide, rushing him forward. Light as a leaf, he flew ahead, over feet, overhead, until the mud flow dropped, and he continued forward, plunging down into a river 25 feet below. The storm passed quite as instantly as it had arrived. The sun melted the dark clouds and warmed Scotty as he swam for the shore. There, another sign of the Khajiiti incursion into Valenwood greeted him. A small fishing village had stood there once, so recently extinct that it smoldered like a still warm corpse. Dirt cairns that had once housed fish by the smell of them had been ravaged, their bounty turned to ash. Rafts and skiffs lay broken, scuttled, half submerged. All the villagers were no more, either dead or refugees far away. Or so he presumed. Something banged against the wall of one of the ruins. Scotty ran to investigate. Fosa, welcome, welcome. Glad you like my voice. My name is Decimus Scotty, sang the first winged beast. Oh, my name is Decimus Scotty, sang the first winged beast. I'm a Cyrodiil from the Imperial City. I came here to help rebuild Valenwood after the war, you see, and now I'm rather lost. Nice, well to maculate, Apeneck, agreed one of its companions. I don't see you. Why are you hiding? As they fell into chattering, Scotty began to search the rest of the village. Surely, the cats had left something behind. A scrap of dried meat, a morsel of fish sausage, anything. But they had been immaculate, a complete annihilation. There was nothing to eat anywhere. Scotty did find one item of possible use under the tumbled remains of a stone hut. A bow and 2 arrows made of bone. The string had been lost, likely burned away in the heat of the fire, but he pulled the cord from Regulus's satchel and restrung it. The creatures flew over and hovered nearby as he worked. The convent of the sacred Leodus Juris? You know about the war, worms and wine circumscribe a golden host, ape-neck. The moment the cord was taut, Scotty knocked an arrow and swung around, pulling the string tight against his chest. The winged beasts, having had experience with archers before, shot off in all directions in a blur. They needn't have bothered. Scotty's first arrow dove into the ground 3 feet in front of him. He swore and retrieved it. The mimics, having likewise had experience with poor archers before, returned at once to hovering nearby and mocking Scotty. On his second shot, Scotty did much better in purely tactical terms. He remembered how the archers in Falinesti looked when he pulled himself out from under the Horvortic, and they were all taking aim at him. He extended his left hand, and right elbow in a symmetrical line, drawing the bow so his hand touched his jawline, and he could see the creature in his sight, like the arrow was a finger he was pointing with. The bolt missed the target by only 2 feet, but it continued on its trajectory, snapping when it struck a rock wall. Scotty walked to the river's edge. He had only 1 arrow left, and perhaps, he considered, it would be most practical to find a slow-moving fish and fire it on that. If he missed, at least there was less of a chance of breaking the shaft, and he could always retrieve it from the water. A rather torpid, whiskered fish rolled by, and he took aim at it. "My name is Decimus Scotti," one of the creatures howled, frightening the fish away. "Stupid and a stupid cow, while you dance a dance in fire." Scotty turned and aimed the arrow as he had done before. This time, however, he remembered to plant his feet as the archers had done, 7 inches apart, knees straight, left leg slightly forward to meet the angle of his right shoulder. He released the last arrow. The arrow also proved a serviceable prong for roasting the creature against the smoking hot stones of one of the ruins. Its other companions had disappeared instantly after the beast was slain, and Scotty was able to dine in peace. The meat proved to be delicious, if scarcely more than a first course. He was picking the last of it from the bones when a boat sailed into view from around the bend of the river. At the helm were Bosmer sailors. Scotty ran to the bank and waved his arms. They averted their eyes and continued past. "You bloody callous bastards," Scotty howled. "Knaves, hooligans, ape-necks, scoundrels." A grey whiskered form came out from a hatch, and Scotty immediately recognized him as Griff Malon, the poet translator he had met in the caravans from Cyrodiil. He peered in Scotty's direction, and his eyes lit up with delight. "Decimus Scott, precisely the man I hoped to see. To get your thoughts on a rather puzzling passage in the MidnightVisuals play bar. It begins, I went weeping into the world, searching for wonders. Perhaps you're familiar with it." I'd like nothing better than to discuss the Narid play bar with you, Griff, Scotty called back. Would you let me come aboard, though, first? Raven, have to go. Sleep's calling. All right. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful night. Sweet dreams. Overjoyed at being on a ship bound for any port at all, Scotty was true to his word. For over an hour, as the boat rolled down the river past the blackened remnants of Bosmerry villages, he asked no questions and spoke nothing of his life over the past weeks. He merely listened to Malon's theories of Merethic Aldemeri Esoterica. The translator was undemanding of his guest's scholarship, accepting nods and shrugs as civilized conversation. He even produced some wine and fish jelly, which he shared with Scotty absent-mindedly as he expounded on his various theses. Finally, while Malon was searching for a reference to some minor point in his notes, Scotty asked, "Rather off subject, but I was wondering where you're bound." "Very heart of the province, Sylvanar," Malon said, not looking up from the passage he was reading. "Somewhat bothersome, actually. So I wanted to go to Woodhearth first to talk to Bosmer there, who claims to have an original copy of Dirith Yamili. If you can... Oops. Scotty asked, rather off subject, but I was wondering why we're bound. "Very heart of the province, Sylvanar," Malon said, not looking up from a passage he was reading. "It's somewhat bothersome, actually. So I wanted to go to Woodhearth first to talk to a Bosmer there who claims to have an original copy of Dirith Yalmiliad, if you can believe it, but for the time being that has to wait. Somerset Isle has surrounded the city, and it is in the province of starving the citizenry until they surrender. Tiresome prospect, since the Bosmeri are happy to eat one another, so there's no risk that at the end there's a risk that at the end only one fat wood elf will remain to wave the flag." "That is vexing," agreed Scotty sympathetically. "To the east, the Khajiit are burning everything, and to the west, the High Elves are waging war. I don't suppose the borders to the north are clear." "Even worse," replied Malon, finger on the page, still distracted. "Cyrod Hills and Redguards don't want Bosmer refugees streaming into their provinces. Only stands to reason. Imagine how much more criminally inclined they'd be now that they're homeless and hungry." "So," murmured Scotty, feeling a shiver. "We're trapped in Valenwood." "Not at all. I need to leave fairly shortly myself, as my publisher has set a very definite deadline for my new book of translations. From what I understand, one merely petitions to the Sylvanar for special border protection, and one can cross into Cyrodiil with impunity." "Petition the Sylvanar, or petition at Sylvanar?" "Petition the Sylvanar at Sylvanar. It's an odd nomenclature that's typical of this place, the sort of thing that makes my job as a translator that much more challenging. The Sylvanar, or rather they, are the closest the Bosmeri have to a great leader. Essential thing to remember about the Sylvanar," he smiled, finding the passage he was looking for. "Here. Quote, a fortnight inexplicable, the world burns into a dance," unquote. There's that metaphor again. "What were you saying about the Sylvanar?" asked Scotty. "The essential thing to remember." "I don't remember what I was saying," replied Malon, turning back to his oration. Feels like a lot of us here would be really familiar with this sort of, sidetracking, tangenting. Also, Fozard, Heaven Defying God, thank you for the follows. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the Succubard's Library. A sip. Hi, Hazel Dust. Good to see you. It's been a while. For the sip redeem. Hey, that's a face I haven't seen in a while. It has been quite a while. Especially if we're only counting reading streams, it's been probably at least 2 months now. Even the gaming streams have been very, very spread out. Let's see. Where were we? There we go. There is chapter 6. Okay. How have you been? I missed seeing you. Mostly bedridden, actually. It's back about 3 or 4 months ago. I very possibly got COVID again. One of my roommates brought it back. They didn't know, and they didn't get symptoms or anything, but lo and behold, I got it. And I've been mostly bedridden since. Went from I can spend most days sitting at the computer but not standing up to I can spend most days sitting up in bed but only maybe 4 or 5 hours at the computer each week. So it's been a trip. How have you been? Been trying to get to people's streams, but it's the energy is just not there. Hope you're doing much better. I wouldn't say much better, but today, at least, I felt better than I have in quite a while. You've been okay, trying to catch up on sleep and failing? Well, hopefully I can help a little bit in that endeavor. We're in the middle of A Dance in Fire, Chapter 4. Chapter 4? Chapter 5. There we go. False advertising the whole time. There we go. In a week's time, the little boat bumped along the shallow, calmer waters of the foaming current the Xylo had become, when Decimus Conti first saw the city of Sylvanar. If Falinesti was a tree, then Sylvanar was a flower. A magnificent pile of faded shades of green, red, blue, and white, shining with crystalline residue. Malon had mentioned offhand, when not otherwise explaining Aldmeri prosody, that Sylvanar had once been a blossoming glade in the forest, but owing to some spell or natural cause, the tree's sap began flowing with translucent liqueur. The process of the sap flowing and hardening over the colorful trees had formed the web of the city. Malon's description was intriguing, but it hardly prepared him for the city's beauty. Heaven, will you read the whole book of A Dance in Fire? 1 chapter every reading stream. Otherwise, we'd have to use a whole stream just for A Dance in Fire. I may eventually record A Dance in Fire and upload it onto YouTube, but Cramptonator, don't threaten me with a good time. For me, it's going to be one hell of a stream if I did that. Anyway, what's the finest, most luxurious tavern here? Scotty asked one of the Bosmer boatmen. Prithel Hall, Malon answered. But why don't you stay with me? I'm visiting an acquaintance of mine. A scholar I think you'll find fascinating. His hovel isn't much, but he has the most extraordinary ideas about the principles of Merethic Eldmeri tribe, the Sarmathi. Under any other circumstances, I would happily accept, said Scotty graciously. But after weeks of sleeping on the ground or on a raft and eating whatever I can scrounge, I feel the need for some indulgent creature comforts. And then, after a day or two, I'll petition the Sylvanar for a safe passage to Cyrodiil. The men bade each other goodbye. Griff Malon gave him the address of his publisher in the Imperial City, which Scotty accepted and quickly forgot. The clerk wandered the streets of Sylvanar, crossing bridges of amber, admiring the petrified forest architecture. In front of a particularly estimable palace of silvery reflective crystal, he found Prithel Hall. He took the finest room and ordered a gluttonous meal of the finest quality. At a nearby table, he saw 2 very fat fellows, a man and a Bosmer, remarking how much finer the food was there than at the Sylvanar's palace. They began to discuss the war and some issues of finance and rebuilding provincial bridges. The man noticed Scotty looking at them, and his eyes flashed recognition. Scotty, is that you? Kenneth, where have you been? I've had to make all the contracts here on my own. At the sound of his voice, Scotty recognized him. A fat man was Leodus Injurus, vastly engorged. And that was chapter 5 of A Dance in Fire. Don't threaten me with a good time. I appreciate your reading. Thank you again. It's my pleasure. When I was thinking of doing the stream earlier, when I was, thinking, I actually might have the energy for a reading stream today. I was wondering if you might come. I was holding off reading A Dance in Fire until then. Now, let's see. I think what were we looking at? Evan was asking for Omniscient Reader's point of view Omniscient Reader's viewpoint. Evan, are you still here? Hi, Has. Something catch your ear? Let's see, fire novel. Let us see about finding omniscient. Interesting. I just got you on in the background while I study my sage skills. Oh. Study as in read them? Or... Let's see. Let's read at least the chapter 0 here. I forgot how to play. I promised Fran to play tomorrow, so I got to learn. Oof. I know that feeling, though. I'm sure by the time I get back to it, I will have completely forgotten. Well, let's be real. I will not have forgotten, although I will have forgotten. But what's more, they will have changed Astrologian at least twice over. We better have those damn cards still. Anyway, this is Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint by Xinsheng. Chapter 0. Prologue. There are 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. Actually, let me do one thing. I need to... There we go. Get it somewhere where it's not white text on a dark background. Because... good gods. America's tits. Oops. White on black or dark background is hell on the eyes in the long term. There. Alright. Dark green on dark charcoal. Much, much better. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint by Xinsheng. Chapter 0. Prologue. There are 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. There are 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. Now, I have forgotten a few, but one thing is certain. The fact that you, who are reading this now, will survive. 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. A web novel platform filled the screen of my old smartphone. Scrolled down, and then up again. How many times have I been doing this? Really, this is the end? I looked again, and the complete was unmistakable. Oh, current reading. Oh dear, I have completely forgotten my workflow. Much better. Thank you for the reminder. I looked again, and the complete was unmistakable. story was over. 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World. Author TLS123. 3,149 chapters. 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World was a feature-length fantasy novel with 3,149 chapters. Its shortened name was Ways of Survival. Oh, scary hobo. Let me get to that right after I read this prologue. I had been steadily reading this novel since the 3rd year of middle school. During the time when I was bullied by Ilgens, when I ruined my entrance examinations and had to enter a local university, when the damned random draw went wrong and was placed in the military unit at the forefront, when I repeatedly switched jobs and am now working as a contractor for an affiliate of a large company. Damn, let's stop talking about this. Anyway, author's words. Thank you so much for reading Ways of Survival up to here. I will come back to you with an epilogue. Oh, the epilogue still remains, so the next chapter is really the last one. From the end of childhood to adulthood had been done over a huge period of 10 years. There was a mixture of despondency that a world was coming to an end along with a sense of satisfaction. I opened the comment box of the last message and rewrote the sentence several times. Kim Dokja. Writer, thank you for everything in the meantime. I'm looking forward to the epilogue. They were sincere sentences. Ways of Survival was my life's novel. It wasn't that popular, but it was the best novel for me. There were many words I wanted to say, but I couldn't write them. I was afraid that my careless words would hurt the writer. An average of 1.9 hits per chapter. An average of 1.08 comments. This was the average popularity index of Ways of Survival. The number of views for the first chapter was 1,200, but it fell to 120 for the 10th, 12 by the 50th. By the time it was the 100th chapter, it was only 1. Hits equal 1. I was overwhelmed by the feeling I got when I saw the numerous 1 that appeared next to the list of chapters. In some cases, there was a 2, but it was likely someone pressing the wrong button. Thank you. The author published a novel with more than 3,000 chapters, with just 1 hit per chapter over a period of 10 years. It truly was a story just for me. Pressed on the recommendation board and immediately started tapping on the keyboard. I am recommending a honey jam novel. The author wrote me a free, completed novel, so I should give him a recommendation. I clicked on the completed button, and comments quickly appeared. It looks like a new auntie. Auntie is evidently at least Japanese and evidently Korean internet slang for hater. I searched for this person's ID and they recommend the same novel several times. Next comment. Isn't his recommendation banned? The author shouldn't do this here. It occurred to me that I had written a recommendation several months ago. In an instant, there were dozens of comments for investigation by spectators. My face flushed with embarrassment. I was sure that the author would read this, so I hurriedly tried to delete the message, but it was already reported that the message couldn't be removed. It was upsetting to think that the recommendation written with all my sincerity turned out like this. If they even looked a little bit, why didn't anyone try reading the interesting novel? I wanted to give a donation to the writer, but I couldn't afford it because I was a salary worker, barely able to make a living. New novel chapters are... Let's see. Then I received a notification that a message has arrived. TLS 123. Thank you. A message flew in out of nowhere. It took me a while to grasp the situation. Kim Dokja, the author? TLS 123 was the author of Ways of Survival. TLS 123. I was able to complete it to the end thanks to you. I also won the competition. I couldn't believe it. Ways of Survival won a competition? Kim Dokja, congratulations. When was the competition? TLS. You won't know it because it's an unknown competition. I wondered if he lied because he was ashamed, but I wanted it to be true. Perhaps I really didn't know. It might be a big hit on other platforms. I was a little sad, but it was good to have an excellent story spreading. TLS, I would like to send a special gift to you as a thank you. Kim Dokja. Gift? TLS, it is thanks, my dear reader, that this story has come into the world. I gave the writer my email address as he asked. TLS? Ah, right, I got the monetization schedule. Kim. Really? When will it start? This masterpiece should have been paid from the beginning. It was a lie. The Ways of Survival was a daily series, so I would have had to spend 3,000 won a month. 3,000 won was one convenience store lunch for me. TLS, the monetization starts tomorrow. Kim, and the epilogue coming tomorrow will be paid. Paywalled. TLS. Yes, I'm afraid you need to pay for it. Kim, of course. I'll buy the last one. There was no reply from the author afterward. I logged out of the site, then I felt the pessimism sink in later. The author left without a reply after he succeeded. My admiration turned into petty jealousy. What was I so excited for? In any case, it wasn't my novel. Give a gift certificate? It'd be good if it's for 50,000 won. In that time, I was naive. Didn't know anything about what would happen to the world the next day. And that's the prologue to Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. By Xinxiong. Scary yoga. Uh-huh. Now that there's a good Samsung bespoke 4-door flex trademark refrigerator, 29 cubic feet with AI Family Hub Plus and AI Vision inside. Oh, that's horrifying. You say I don't have to say all of it. But I kind of do, don't I? That's a challenge. Rest the eyes, I shall. Oh, sorry. If you'd like, rest your eyes with me. All you have to do is look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Ideally, it's every 20 minutes, but... And then we'll do an ad break real quick, and then maybe a short story to round it out, and then we'll close it out at 3 hours. Made my night? Oh, I'm glad it did. Maybe we, you know what? I am in the mood for absolutely sideswiping people with, let's see. Where? I should sleep now. It's almost 2 a.m. and I got what I wanted to get done. Glad you did, Valeria. Thanks for coming and listening. Hopefully you have a wonderful night. Sweet dreams. Thanks again for coming. Is this it? Oh, give me... Oh, let me run ads while I'm looking for this. Good rest of your stream and night. Oh, thanks. Night. Let's see. Is it here? Is it really? Sorry, I'm mucking about with various accounts, unfortunately. See, there we go. Okay, so that is okay. Huzzah! Let's see. Oh no, that's not doing the Celestial Code. We're doing There we go. Let's see. That's all set up. You know what? Maybe this isn't quite the, I'll save this for another time. I don't think we have 30 minutes to read that, but we'll do the, intro to the Celestia code as well. There we go. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry that I have to do ads. If I don't do ads, Twitch punishes me by running pre-roll ads. And so people come into the stream and then get, you know, slapped with 2-3 minutes of ads before they even hear my voice. So, this is the Celestia code, written by Esau. And, let's see. Oh, this is just the very, very intro. Very short portion. It's the very first chunk of chapter 1. Continues on after this. Well, maybe we'll do 2 chunks. Oh, there we go. Celestia Code. Chapter 1. The Treasure Room. As I watched the books burn among the ruins, I couldn't help the near instinctive urges that jolted through me like electricity. I could save them. A small shield spell around the fire would starve it of oxygen almost immediately, and when the heat had cooled enough not to reignite, I could... But I had set them burning for a reason. It was already too late to save them. The fire wasn't small like the countless ones I had set in the fireplace of my bedroom above the library. Those fires had been comforting, their gentle heat, their flames waving slowly, almost like Celestia's mane when backlit by the sun. I shook my head to clear it and brought myself back to reality. The bonfire hissed and roared, flames and burning bits of paper leaping skyward. The heat was sharp and uncomfortable, even at a dozen lengths distance. My mane fluttered in the breeze caused by the air rushing in to feed the blaze, as if in mockery of the ethereal motion of Celestia's. I felt nauseous again. If I could reverse the chemical reaction, flip entropy around, perhaps the fail-safe spell. No. It was beyond my power. I was just panicking in a silent, cerebral way. What had been done could not be undone. Even books that had been written by some wooden-headed ideologue who wouldn't know the scientific method if it bucked her in the teeth were nearly sacred to me. My reverence didn't stop me from adding a note of scathing commentary in the margins, but to actually deliberately destroy a book. It was unthinkable. Until that night. Until I set fire to scores of unique manuscripts that bore knowledge recorded nowhere else in the world, destroying them forever. It was a crime I could never forgive myself for. It was an act that was unquestionably necessary. Twilight, came a voice from the darkness behind me. Twilight, where are you? I groaned and squeezed my eyes shut. Unquestionably necessary, but impossible to explain or justify. Only a few short days before, I couldn't even have imagined this appalling situation. The whole adventure began when I discovered the obscure back room in the Canterlot archives under a royal seal. It was a very powerful and carefully crafted seal, only a princess could unlock it. Even the guards ponies patrolling the archives couldn't disable the magical lock. I had only tried on a whim because I was certain Celestia would have made the distinction between Divine Highness and Royal or Serene Highness when putting up the spell, but much to my surprise, the door had sighed open at the briefest touch of my magic. Evidently, I was enough of a princess for the mystical gatekeeper, even though I was lowest on the alicorn totem pole. Grilled cheese. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Should I have immediately closed the vault and told Celestia that there was an oversight in her security? Absolutely. Could I have possibly resisted the urge to take just one little peek at the treasures within? Any pony who thinks so doesn't know me at all. I wish Spike had been with me. He would have told me to shut the door and to mind my own business. It was just barely possible that I might have listened to him. The scrolls and books within the vault were ancient. There were a few small boxes intermixed with the manuscripts, and nothing seemed to have a title or label. I touched a large volume gently with my magic and tugged it from its place. It seemed to be sturdy and well preserved, so I carefully opened it. It was the personal diary of Copernicus. Next to it was a scroll of essays by the feared fireflower of Serpent's Spire, with margin notes that looked very like the quill work of Clover the Clever. I tried not to hyperventilate. Just then, I think I understood how a dragon might feel when it discovered a huge, unexpected cache of gems and gold. I could lock myself in, teleport food and water directly into my stomach so I wouldn't have to look away from the pages to eat, send a note to Celestia and my friends with some lame excuse that would explain a half-year's absence. I sighed and returned the scroll to its place on the shelf. I took a deep breath and began to formulate a rational plan. The first thing to do would be to tell Celestia I'd found the vault, and hope that the fact that it opened to my magic wasn't a mistake. I reluctantly sealed the vault and teleported to the entryway of the throne room. Morning court had just ended, and when I asked Celestia for a few moments of her time, she suggested we walk in the upper gardens as we talked. And I couldn't bear to draw out the situation with polite small talk, so we had barely set hoof to grass, before I blurted out, "That sealed room in the archives that's under the east turret? I took a look in there this morning, and I was wondering if I should have. I mean, I didn't know if I was allowed to." Unless I imagined it, Celestia looked a bit surprised for an instant. "Well, you didn't have any difficulty opening it, did you?" "Oh, not at all," I assured her. She nodded thoughtfully and took a moment, before replying. "Feel free to browse as you wish. I would ask only that you don't take items away from Canterlot." "I'll take any of the items away from Canterlot. It's been so long since I looked in there that I couldn't give you a very clear idea of its contents, but most are very rare, many unique." I suddenly felt 20 pounds lighter. "Oh, thank you. Is there a list of contents anywhere, an index or something?" She grinned at my enthusiasm. I don't believe so, Twilight. Perhaps that is a task you would like to take on?" She knew me so very well. The thought of cataloging a room full of historical manuscripts and books and other items made me go a bit lightheaded. "I'd be delighted," I said. I think we'll leave it there. It's part of Chapter 1 of the Celestia Code by Esau. Really fun book. Sort of Yuri. The series goes on to definitely be Yuri. I guess this one is Yuri too. Yeah. Yuri's stamp of approval. Bass. I'm lurking, just checking in so Twitch counts me as a viewer. Oh, thank you. I think we will leave it there. Just over 3 hours. Hopefully I haven't overspent myself. Thank you all for being here and for keeping me hydrated and allowing me to have some chocolates here and there. I forgot. A stretch. I shall. I had forgotten that these wings, much like perhaps a dog's tail, puppy's tail, would, wags when they're happy, subconsciously. My wings flutter when I'm happy, so I smile quite a bit, so they may get a little out of hand, but now let's see. Let us find... Let's find a... somebody to raid. And hopefully somebody is streaming. Maybe Hazel Dust is. Pardon me. Stream? It's my pleasure. Sorry we didn't get to stream so much after you showed up, grilled cheese. I'd, go much, what do you call it? Much longer if I could. My brain says just keep going for another 3 hours, but then my body charges overtime. And like overtime, the overtime costs way more than the usual hours. And this overtime, it stacks. Good stream. Glad I stayed for the vocal lessons. I'm glad you liked them. If you'd like to go back and watch them, the YouTube channel will have them in the live section. It never comes down. I think the audio quality might be a little bit worse. Quite a bit worse. But Twitch, the VODs stay for like a month and a half. If you prefer watching on there. Or on here. Twitch is here, I think. I don't know, I'm streaming to both, so it's like, which is there? Which is here? But actually, I will send you to Benini. Glad she's streaming. There might be a volume level difference, just as a warning. She does tend to be much more energetic than I am. Although, to be fair, most streamers are, I think. In fact, I think a lot of viewers like the energy. Which, to be fair, energy is good. You don't want somebody that's just, no energy at all, just into their mic. Even though I'm quiet, I have a certain level of energy put into my voice. Now let's see. Raid. Let me see if I remember how to raid. Banjo-Kazooie. Wow. It's been a long while. Alright. And, let's see. Let me get the link for the YouTube folks. There you go. If you're on YouTube, you can click on that. If you'd like to come along, Benini's a really fun YouTuber. And she's also a trans femme like me, so. Alright. Off we go. To double her viewer count. Thank you all again. Hopefully, I can see you all soon. Promise I'll do everything to make it so my body allows me to. But in the meantime, thank you to all the subs and all the Ko-fi and Patreon patrons that keep me fed and allow me to, make sure that I have the things I need to be bedridden. Turns out being bedridden is surprisingly expensive. Anyway, ta-ta for now.